Good morning, loves. Tracy Lee, self-love life coach here on what I am claiming to be the last day of cold. I'm feeling infinitely better today, but still I'm going to do my level best not to cough all over you. No promises. Some of you may, also, if you are watching the replay, let me know that you're here. Put a little replay in the comment section and your favorite heart emojicon. And if you are watching live, say hello, please. Coffee, self-love coffee talk. So, some of you may have noticed that lately I have been posting I love myself and so. I love myself and so is something that I have been personally doing and teaching for a while now. And good morning, sweetie. And it's kind of caught on, at least with my tribe. And so I'm noticing when they bubble up, they always bubble up organically. And this morning I was chit-chatting via Marco Polo with a couple of my besties in Houston. And I was talking about how, let's see if I can do this without the whole story. I was talking about how, even though I'm sick, I've picked up 3 clients. And that what I really get from that is that I'm not in charge. That all I need to do is follow inspired action, show up in the world, be me in the world, and trust the benevolent forces of the universe are always on my side. So let me talk about feelings and formula. There's nothing wrong with a formula, okay? But what I want you to understand is when someone, even me, when someone says, this is my formula and it works for me, that's really all they're saying. They may be offering it up to you as something that may work for you, but if we make someone else the authority outside of us, oh, they have a formula. Look, it really worked for them. They write for 22 hours, for example. That's one I've heard lately from an author friend of mine. A very prolific author says she writes for 22 hours, and that's how she becomes successful, and that's her formula for success. And so you should adopt her formula for success. Here's the truth. All those formulas, all of those, like even if you take a marketing class or if I watch somebody who talks about tips for social media, I watch those things. I pay attention to those things. I listen to those things. I'm a lifelong learner, so I'm always doing that. And then what I do is I take it inside and I take it through my own feelings barometer and go, is this a yes for me or is this a no for me? Does this resonate with me? Does this, do I feel excited about this? Do I like that person? Good morning, my beautiful beauty across the pond. Lovely to have you with me this morning. So it's really my feelings over the formula, your feelings over the formula. One of the things that I encourage my clients to do is to channel their inner 4-year-old. If you ask a 4-year-old, do you want macaroni and cheese or do you want broccoli? They know the answer. They don't run it through a cacophony of thoughts and beliefs and what they've heard about folic acid and gluten and artificial flavors and dairy makes me a little gassy. They don't do that. They just go, I want the macaroni and cheese or I want the broccoli, right? So what I want you to really get is that while, yes, the formulas work, they work for the person who is touting them, selling them, offering them, right? Even this is a formula that works for Tracy Lee, Self-Love Life Coach. It may not work for you. There's nothing inherently wrong with the formula. The thing that I want to encourage you to do is to lean in and say, is this a yes for me or a no for me? And there's lots of ways for you to do that. Lots of ways for you to do that. The first thing I encourage you to do is notice the initial hit. I'll give you an example. One of my besties, Allison Crow, who 2 of my Austin besties are on their way to New York City right now for different reasons. One of my besties, Allison Crow, posted on Instagram the other day something about new Instagram tips she's excited about, and hit her up if I want to know about it. Well, first of all, it's coming from Allison Crow, so yes, that's a yes for me. If she's excited about it, I want to know about it. In other words, that trust transfers. I trust her. Whatever she's leaning into or doing, I might trust as well, right? At least I'm curious, and I notice my curiosity, and I follow my curiosity. Follow me? And then she sends me a link to some chick who does some YouTube things, and I watch the gal, and I go, oh, this is what I notice in myself. So the skill you are developing in noticing self. What do I feel? What am I feeling? What feelings are coming up for me? So I'm watching this gal, and I notice, oh, I kind of like her. She feels exciting, and I kind of dig it, and I'm drawn in. If I watch that gal, even if my bestie said this is the end-all, be-all, and it hit me with a, ooh, no, like, ugh, I can't watch her, right? It's not about judgment about the other people. It's about how do I feel? Then I have to trust my feelings over the formula. Now, it gets tricky, because sometimes resistance shows up and kicks our ass. So it's the first hit. It's the first yes or no, right? And then we got to settle in, waggle our hips a little bit, sit in, tuck your pelvis, sit in what you're experiencing, and notice in the quiet, in the stillness, if this is a yes for you or a no for you. Now I'm going to give you a really important tip. There are many voices running around up here. Only one of them is your authentic, true, wise, still voice inside. Just one. And some of the voices that are running around in our heads aren't even ours. Mother, father, teacher, coach, friend, wife, husband, partner, business partner, people that I work with, that teacher from the 3rd grade, whatever. There's a whole cacophony of people's opinions in our head. And there's also the voice of the saboteur, the ego voice, the voice that says, I don't know, we might not like it. It might be uncomfortable. What if it sucks? What if it backfires? What if I'm a loser? Right? So it's very important to be able to discern which voice you want to listen to. Which voice is your wise voice? You follow me? Here's my little tip for that. All of the other voices will generally have some sense of urgency, some drama, some shit story, some, oh my God, hurry, some don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Some nuanced energy of urgency. The true self voice, the spirit voice, the still small voice inside of you does not have any of that. It has certainty and calmness and confidence and groundedness and assuredness, and this is it. And it's very interesting that it's very akin to that 4-year-old voice. If we study the 4-year-old, again, I love the story. Allison and I last summer were out at the pool, and there was a little boy who came with his family. He was probably 4 or 5, and he was having a wall-eyed fit about something. He's talking and crying and talking and crying, and he's very loud. And I remember looking at him. He really got my attention. So things that get my attention are things I pay attention to. And in that moment, he was such a teacher for me, right? And I remember thinking, wow, that's annoying, and what if I could be like that? Because let me tell you what, 5 minutes later, that kid who knew what he wanted and knew what he didn't want was swimming in the pool with his sisters over whatever he was freaking out about, right? Why? Because he got it out of his body. So if we can look to those teachers in our life, that inner 4-year-old or 5-year-old that absolutely knows, yes, I want to wear that dress. No, I don't want to wear those shoes, right? If we can channel that part of us that is just so clear because it hasn't been muddied with other people's, here's what you should do, and don't act like that, and don't wear white before, like, whatever, all the fucking rules that come to us that get confused in our head, that by the time we're an adult, all those voices are often louder than the voice that wants to come through, right? The voice that wants to come through, which is the truth with a capital T. You follow me? The way I know my truth with a capital T is I follow my feelings. Ooh, I'm curious about that. Thank you for getting my attention. That's interesting. That sort of thing. You follow me? So, feelings above formula. Doesn't mean the formula is bad, but it does mean if your feeling about someone else's formula is this is a no for me, trust that. Trust that. And the other thing that I will strongly encourage you to have in your personal toolbox is a tribe of people who know you well enough to know where your resistance is, who knows your story, so that I can go to those people and I can say, hey, this is what's coming up for me and here's what I'm feeling. And they can go, oh, that's your saboteur, or, oh, yeah, no, trust that voice, right? Because while I need to trust myself, I can't see what I can't see. Do you follow me? It's really important to have like-minded people who know your story, the good, the bad, and the ugly, to be able to reflect back to you what is your truth when the voices are too loud, when you can't quite swim your way through the cacophony of messages that you have in your head. And there's nothing wrong with that. And what happens as we get more practice with this, again, the way we get good at anything is the way we get good at everything, which, sorry about that, got a phone call in the middle of Facebook Live. That happens sometimes. The way we get good at anything is the way we get good at everything, which is practice, practice, practice. No one really likes that part, but it's the truth. You got it? So the more I practice noticing what gets my attention, what feels like a yes for me, what feels like a no for me, let me settle into that yes or that no. Let me check it out. Maybe let me run it by some friends. I mean, again, I'm just chit-chatting, drinking my coffee this morning on Marco Polo with my besties, and one of them says, you need to do a Facebook Live on that, because people need to hear that their feelings are more important than the experts out there saying, this is how you do it. Emphatically, let me tell you how to do it. And if you're just now watching, that's not really what I'm telling you. What I'm really telling you is to listen to yourself, to listen to your feelings over the authority of other people, because authority is about authorship. And I do not want anybody else writing my life. I want to write my life, right? Now, I may have contributing authors. I may have advisors that come in from time to time. And even my besties sometimes say something and I'm like, yeah, that's a no for me. You got it? I'm the authority. You're the authority. Above any marketing guru, above anybody who says, here's how you get 100 new followers. If it doesn't feel authentic to you, it will not work. Even if you follow it to a T. Right? It has to be authentic. It has to come from truth. This is what people are craving in the world right now. People are craving authenticity and honesty above the formula, right? Above the formula. So I'm not saying the formula doesn't work. The formula does work. It works for the person who's talking about the formula. Might it work for you? It might. Might it not? It might not. You know how you tell? Say it with me. How do you feel about it? Does it feel like a yes, or does it not feel like a yes? That's the barometer, that feeling place, that you can use your body as a pendulum. For me, a yes is when I lean in. For me, a no is when I lean back, like, no, thank you, right? There are all sorts of ways to learn tools to be able to cultivate your authentic voice. Your feelings are the way in. I promise you, 100% of the time. And while, yes, feelings aren't facts, they are definitely clues about something, right? So feelings over formula. If it feels like a no for you, trust yourself. Trust yourself. If it feels like a yes for you, even if it feels a little bit scary, trust yourself. Got it? Now, if you want to learn more about this, if you want to know more, if you want to do this on purpose in a classroom with other people who are endeavoring to learn the same thing, then join SelfLove Masterclass. We now meet twice a week for $150 a month. Twice a week for 90 minutes to 2 hours. in a classroom of people who are learning how to understand what is my truth, how can I live my authentic life, how do I move away the beliefs, thoughts, structures, patterns that don't serve love in my life, and exchange them and cultivate thoughts, beliefs, and patterns and structures that do cultivate love in my life so that I can live a life I love, right? Now I sound like a commercial. And the whole point of this is not to be a commercial. The whole point of this is just to teach what I teach and to do what I do and to honor my nudge to do this in the world. And now I'm going to tell you a little story. I just brought on a new client. This is someone that I've known for, 9 years. I had no idea she was out there watching me. She doesn't comment on stuff. I didn't know she was following me. I had no earthly idea. And in the middle of the night, she sent me a message that says, can I schedule some time with you? I want you to get this. In the midst of a cold, me just being me in the world, that is how I cultivate success for me. Just being me in the world. Not anybody else's formula, not anybody else's idea of you should do a Facebook Live every day. I know people who do that, and I am super excited for them, and I adore them. That's not my gig. I do a Facebook Live when I feel inspired, when I get the nudge. You follow me? All these messages are going off. Everybody is talking to me. That's it. Follow your feelings over the formula. Doesn't mean the formula's bad. It means that the feelings are more important. How does it feel? Does it feel like an authentic yes? Or does it feel like an authentic no? Does it feel like, I don't know, I need more information, let me explore it, I'm curious, or hell no? Trust yourself and trust your knowing. You are the author of your life. You are the authority. Some marketing guru is not the authority on what will work for Tracy Lee or what will work for you. Only me. Just me, right? And I know this because I land clients when I'm at home watching Netflix, blowing my nose because I'm just showing up being me in the world. And that's what feels like mine to do. You got it? You got it? Okay, I'm going to go sniff and cough now. I love you. Big love from my big juicy heart to yours. Listen to your voice. If you want more information, let me know. Hit me a DM. Send me a comment. It's not hard to get in touch with me. If you've been hearing the whisper, like my new client had been hearing the whisper for some time, I need to call Tracy. I need to reach out to Tracy. And I'm going to tell you something because this is the most hysterical thing I've ever heard in my life. This is no shit what she said to me. And then I'm signing off because I'm late for a client. This is no shit what she said to me. I want to learn what you do, but I don't want any of that lovey stuff. And I said, really? You want Tracy Lee without the love? Doesn't work that way, girlfriend. All right, I'm signing off now. Big love from my big juicy heart to yours. I see you guys soon.